In the raw, untamed heart of Deadwood, 1876, a place where dreams of untold wealth shimmered like heat haze over the gold-laden creeks, whispers began to coil and spread through the dusty streets. It was a town built on ambition, risk, and often sheer desperation, where every soul chased a fleeting promise of happiness amidst the chaos. Yet, even in this lawless frontier, some tales held enough power to truly shock, shaking the very foundations of what people believed to be right and proper. The most unsettling of these murmurs concerned Elias, a formidable mountain man, a figure of silent strength known more for his reclusive wisdom of the wilderness than for social graces, and his newfound bride, a young woman named Elara. The rumors were not just scandalous. They were profoundly disturbing, painting a portrait of a relationship that defied all convention and understanding. Now, in the frenzied grip of the gold rush, Deadwood represented not a dream of instant wealth, but merely a desperate last resort, a place rumored to be bustling enough that perhaps a lost soul could simply disappear or, with immense luck, find a quiet corner of refuge. Her youth was overshadowed by an exhaustion that permeated her very bones, a weariness born of constant struggle and an unrelenting need to survive. The town itself assaulted her senses. A chaotic symphony of hammers, shouts, gunfire, and the jingle of coins, all under a permanent haze of dust and the acrid smell of desperation. This was no place for a vulnerable young woman. Every glance felt predatory, every corner a potential threat. The promise of easy riches that lured so many here seemed a cruel joke to Elara. She sought only safety, a meager meal, and perhaps a moment of peace. The concept of true happiness felt like a forgotten word, something whispered in stories from a lifelong past, utterly unattainable in this raw, untamed land. She had no family, no protectors, only her own flagging determination to keep putting one foot in front of the other. The elusive wealth that prospectors chased with wild abandon held no appeal for her beyond the mere possibility of sustenance. Each day was an immediate, brutal confrontation with reality, a test of her dwindling spirit. The lawlessness of Deadwood was palpable, a heavy cloak draped over every muddy street and makeshift tent. Justice here was a personal matter, dispensed by the quickest draw or the strongest fist. For Elara, navigating this perilous landscape required a keen, if instinctual, wisdom beyond her years, a silent understanding of who to avoid and where to step lightly. There was no joy in this existence, only a constant, gnawing anxiety about the next hour, the next day. Finding a safe place to rest her head at night was a victory, a small, fleeting reprieve before the cycle of survival began anew with the harsh light of dawn. She watched the hardened faces of the miners, the gamblers, the saloon girls, and knew she was an outsider, a ghost passing through a world too rough for her gentle nature. Her vulnerability was not just a feeling, but a stark, undeniable reality that put her constantly on edge, pushing her to be invisible, to shrink from attention. The bustling thoroughfares, filled with the loud bravado of men seeking fortune, offered no comfort, only heightened her sense of isolation. Elara was merely trying to exist, to carve out the barest sliver of space for herself in a town that seemed determined to swallow her whole. She moved like a lost soul, vulnerable and utterly exposed to the unforgiving realities of a town obsessed with the fleeting pursuit of wealth. The sight of her, so clearly in distress, ignited a powerful, undeniable paternal instinct within Elias. It was a profound protective urge, a deep-seated need to shield her from the inherent dangers of Deadwood, a place that devoured the unprotected. He recognized her innocence as a different kind of wealth, a precious quality he felt compelled to preserve. His wisdom guided him. To ignore her plight would be a betrayal of his own quiet integrity. The thought of her continuing to struggle alone was unbearable to his gentle spirit. He knew his mountains offered a wealth of their own, peace, safety, and the steady rhythm of a life unburdened by greed. With quiet resolve, Elias decided to act. He descended from his secluded perch, approaching Elara with a deliberate calm. His presence meant to offer solace, not alarm. His offer was straightforward and sincere: shelter, a secure place away from the chaos, and unwavering protection. It was an invitation to a different path, one where true happiness could slowly begin to bloom, away from the harsh glare of judgment and the desperate search for gold. He sought no personal gain, only to provide a sanctuary where her spirit might mend, and where a new kind of family, built on mutual respect and genuine care, could quietly begin to take root. This pivotal decision, born from compassion and a deep sense of responsibility, marked a profound shift in both their lives, setting them on an unexpected journey together. The isolated cabin, nestled deep within the unforgiving wilderness, presented a stark reality to Elara. Life there was a constant negotiation with the elements, a world away from the fleeting comforts she had known. Every sunrise brought new tasks, new demands on her strength and resilience. Chopping firewood, fetching water from the icy stream, and maintaining the small, rustic dwelling were physically taxing endeavors that tested her limits daily. Yet, within this demanding existence, a quiet rhythm began to emerge between Elara and Elias. It wasn't spoken, but understood, a silent agreement born of necessity and observation. They moved through their days with a nascent mutual respect, each recognizing the other's unspoken contributions to their shared survival. The vast silence of the mountains was often punctuated only by the sounds of their purposeful work, a testament to the new life they were building, one strenuous moment at a time. The initial shock gave way to a burgeoning sense of purpose, a small flicker of something akin to happiness found in the simple act of enduring together. Elias, a true child of the mountains, became her patient, unwavering guide. He possessed a profound practical wisdom gained from a lifetime lived close to the land, and he imparted this knowledge generously. Elara learned to read the subtle signs of the wild, the whisper of the wind through pine trees, the barely perceptible tracks of unseen creatures, the nuanced changes in the sky that signaled shifts in weather. She learned the art of tracking game, her eyes sharpening to distinguish faint prints in the dirt and broken twigs. He showed her how to identify edible roots and berries, understanding which plants offered sustenance and which held danger. Mastering fire-making, once a mysterious and daunting task, became a practiced expertise, its warmth a constant reminder of their ingenuity. He taught her how to set simple traps, how to properly prepare food from their meager catches, and how to mend and build with whatever nature provided. The mountain man and the orphan girl were cultivating a unique and powerful family unit within the vast silence of the Black Hills. As the seasons turned, painting the rugged landscape with their ever-changing hues, the bond between Elias and Elara deepened significantly. What had begun as a compassionate act of shelter and a desperate need for survival had, over the years, blossomed into a profound partnership built on unwavering loyalty and mutual understanding. Elara, no longer the lost, fragile girl who had stumbled into Deadwood, had grown into a resourceful and resilient young woman, shaped by the wilderness and guided by Elias' quiet wisdom. He had been her steady anchor, a pillar of strength and a source of quiet joy in their isolated cabin. Elias, in turn, found a renewed sense of purpose and a profound happiness in nurturing Elara's growth. He was not just her guardian. He had become her most trusted confidant, the silent recipient of her hopes, fears, and burgeoning dreams. Their days were a rhythm of shared labor, quiet companionship, and the unspoken language of two souls deeply attuned to each other. He taught her the intricate ways of the mountains, the secrets of the forest, and the wisdom of living in harmony with nature, skills that endowed her with a wealth of practical knowledge for their self-sufficient life. Their laughter, though infrequent and soft, resonated through the small dwelling, marking moments of shared contentment. Their connection was a tapestry woven with threads of respect, affection, and an almost familial devotion. Yet, despite their seclusion, the whispers from Deadwood had begun to filter into their peaceful existence. The burgeoning town, bustling with prospectors and adventurers seeking their fortune, was also a hotbed of gossip and speculation. Stories about the reclusive mountain man and the mysterious young woman living with him had started to circulate, fueled by a mixture of curiosity, suspicion, and a lack of understanding. Few knew the truth of Elara's arrival, and fewer still comprehended the unique dynamics of their bond. To the townsfolk, untouched by the simple purity of their shared life, their relationship was an enigma, ripe for misinterpretation. The questions hung in the air. Who was this girl? What was her connection to the imposing Elias? As more years slipped by, the rumors intensified, shifting from mere curiosity to outright conjecture about the true nature of their unconventional family unit. Deadwood, with its rough-hewn charm and its quick judgments, was watching, and its scrutiny was beginning to cast a long shadow over the quiet happiness Elias and Elara had carefully cultivated. But what was it truly? Was it the bond of a father and daughter, as Elias had initially felt? The closeness of siblings who had survived countless trials together? Or was it something more, something that society was quick to brand as forbidden, but which felt so intrinsically right within the confines of their cabin, bringing a quiet joy to their daily lives? They spent long evenings by the crackling fire, the silence punctuated by the heavy weight of unspoken questions. There was a sense of impending decision, a recognition that they could no longer simply exist in their bubble. The world outside demanded an answer, a label, a definition. And so, they were compelled to look deep within their hearts, to unearth the truth of their shared existence, and to chart a future that defied societal expectations, relying on their burgeoning wisdom, no matter the cost to their fragile happiness. The road ahead was uncertain, but the journey towards understanding their genuine connection and defining their truly unique family had begun. The unforgiving grip of winter tightened its hold on the Black Hills, transforming the rugged landscape into a desolate expanse. Flurries escalated into a relentless blizzard, burying the cabin under layers of white and effectively cutting Elara and Elias off from the outside world. The winding path to Deadwood vanished beneath a thick blanket of snow, and the familiar sounds of the wilderness were muffled by howling winds. Inside their humble dwelling, the crackling fire became their sole source of warmth against the encroaching cold. Supplies, carefully stockpiled during the milder months, began to dwindle with alarming speed. Each day presented a new, harsh challenge, testing their physical and emotional endurance in ways they had never anticipated. The profound isolation magnified every creak of the timber, every gust of wind against the walls. Yet, within this crucible of hardship, their already strong bond deepened with an unexpected intensity. They worked in silent unison, conserving fuel, rationing food, and tending to the small, vital tasks that ensured their survival. A quiet understanding passed between them, a shared glance speaking volumes when words were unnecessary. Elias's initial paternal protectiveness and Elara's sisterly affection had long since matured into something far more complex and encompassing. The danger was palpable. Cold and potential starvation were constant threats. But instead of breeding fear, this shared adversity fostered a profound sense of unity. They were a team, a single entity facing down the might of nature. It was in these moments of profound vulnerability, huddled together for warmth, sharing the last scraps of a meal, that a monumental realization began to take root in their hearts. The labels society had tried to impose on them, father and daughter, brother and sister, guardian and ward, suddenly seemed utterly meaningless. They were simply Elara and Elias, two souls inextricably linked, bound by an affection so pure and resilient it defied all conventional definitions. This newfound clarity brought with it an unexpected sense of happiness, not a fleeting joy, but a deep, abiding contentment in their shared existence. They discovered a wealth in their connection that far surpassed any material gain. The very simplicity of their survival, their absolute reliance on each other, stripped away all pretense and superficiality. There was a quiet joy in every small victory, a fire that stayed lit, a storm that finally began to recede. Through their trials, they gained wisdom, a profound understanding that true family isn't defined by blood or societal norms, but by unwavering loyalty, mutual respect, and unconditional love. As the snow began its slow melt and the first hints of spring whispered on the wind, it became unequivocally clear that their path forward was intertwined. A momentous decision, born from the depths of their shared struggle and profound affection, solidified in their minds, setting their future on a remarkable and defiant course. The snow had finally begun to recede, revealing the raw earth beneath, but the decisions made during the long, isolating winter lingered, solid and undeniable. Elias and Elara had faced the elements in themselves, coming to a profound understanding of their unique bond. It was a connection that defied simple definitions, born of necessity, nurtured by respect, and now blossoming into something unexpectedly rich and deeply personal. They knew the world outside their cabin would not understand, would likely judge, but the clarity that had settled upon them was a shield against the anticipated storm of public opinion. Their choice was not one made lightly. It was forged in shared hardship and an undeniable connection that had deepened far beyond mere guardianship. They decided to marry. This was not a hurried impulse, but a quiet, resolute agreement, a solemn vow between two souls who had found uncommon solace. It was an act of profound courage, challenging every societal norm and whisper already circulating. For Elias, it was a public declaration of his protective love. For Elara, it was an embrace of the one person who had offered her true safety and unwavering care. Their shared past had gifted them a wisdom beyond their years, a deep understanding that genuine happiness wasn't found in societal approval, but in the truth of one's own heart. As the first thaw allowed passage back towards the fringes of Deadwood, the news, as all news does in a small community, traveled fast. The whispers intensified, now carrying the sharp edge of scandal. People were aghast. A father marrying his daughter? A brother marrying his sister? The rumors, once faint, now screamed. Yet, within the quiet sanctuary of their shared gazes, Elias and Elara found profound peace. Their love, unconventional as it was pure, a source of incredible joy that sustained them against scornful looks and condemnation. They were building their own definition of family, founded on loyalty, shared survival, and a love that had bloomed in unlikely soil. This unconventional wealth of connection was more precious than any gold in the Black Hills. Their decision was a quiet revolution, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit when guided by genuine affection, proving that sometimes the most beautiful paths are the ones least traveled, defying expectations to create unique and lasting happiness. Married life, even for Elias and Elara, brought its own distinct challenges, far beyond their previous solitude. The unforgiving Black Hills wilderness tested them daily, but now they faced it as a united front, husband and wife forging a shared destiny. Their small, isolated cabin became their new family's foundation, strengthening their bond. Life demanded constant effort, tending their garden, hunting for sustenance, and preparing for nature's unpredictable whims. Each sunrise presented new trials, scarcity, illness, the elements. Yet, through every obstacle, their unity remained unbroken, a testament to their deep connection and profound shared happiness. Elara, no longer a vulnerable orphan, had matured into a resourceful woman, building their home and future. Elias, the gentle mountain man, found renewed purpose protecting and providing for his wife, his quiet strength infused with deep spousal devotion. Their profound commitment was evident in every shared glance and act of care. They instinctively learned each other's needs, offering comfort and finding strength together. This allowed them to navigate remote existence with grace, discovering a richness beyond material wealth, a boundless joy in their mutual affection. Their actions, born of necessity and deep love, embodied a quiet wisdom, proving true prosperity lay not in gold, but in an unbreakable human connection. In Deadwood, news of their marriage caused a polarized reaction. For many, its unconventionality remained a source of profound shock and scandal. Persistent rumors left an indelible mark, making it hard to reconcile the whispered past with their legitimate marriage. These individuals clung to judgments, viewing the union with suspicion, an unforgivable transgression against societal norms. However, for a growing number, Elias and Elara's steadfast determination to build a life together became a quiet inspiration. Sympathetic observers witnessed their resilience, commitment, and genuine affection. It wasn't about monetary gain. It was about two souls finding solace and shared purpose. Weary of Deadwood's fleeting pleasures, they saw in Elias and Elara a rare example of enduring love. They marveled at their ability to face adversity as one, find happiness in simplicity, and defy a judgmental world. Their story, once scandal, transformed into a testament to love's unexpected pathways, a beacon of hope. The couple's quiet strength and visible devotion gradually chipped away at the town's initial shock, subtly fostering admiration. Their journey offered a living lesson in family, forged by unwavering loyalty and boundless affection. The people of Deadwood, initially quick to judge, found their rigid opinions on Elias and Elara slowly softening. It wasn't an abrupt change, but a gradual unfolding, like the quiet dawn after a long night of speculation. Many had eagerly spread whispers, fueled by suspicion and an inability to grasp a connection defying societal norms. They had seen only the surface, the oddity of a giant mountain man and a young woman, rushing to conclusions born of prejudice. Yet, as weeks turned into months, something remarkable began to happen. The unwavering stability of Elias and Elara's life together became undeniably clear, slowly permeating the town's collective consciousness. Day after day, through summer's dust and winter's biting winds, Deadwood witnessed a quiet, profound testament to their bond. Elias, once seen as a reclusive giant, was observed, always watchful, always protective of Elara. And Elara, who arrived as a vulnerable orphan, now walked with newfound strength, her eyes reflecting deep, settled contentment. They shared a unique kind of wealth, not gold, but the immeasurable richness of their shared existence, a profound connection transcending material possessions. Their happiness wasn't boisterous. It was a quiet, resilient joy, evident in the effortless way they moved together, the unspoken understanding in their glances, and the gentle support they offered each other in mundane tasks. This consistent display of devotion slowly chipped away at the townsfolk's hardened skepticism. Those who had once sneered now paused, observing with a dawning respect. The initial rumors, once potent, dissipated like forgotten smoke, losing power in the face of such clear sincerity. There was an inherent wisdom in their simple, honest partnership that resonated, albeit slowly, with Deadwood's pragmatic people. It forced them to question preconceived notions, to look beyond appearances and acknowledge the purity of a love refusing to conform. The whispers of scandal faded, replaced by a quiet hum of acceptance and genuine admiration. People saw not just an unconventional pairing, but two souls bound by extraordinary commitment, bravely facing the world as an unbreakable unit. Their genuine respect and unwavering devotion, the calm manner in which they navigated life's challenges, spoke volumes. It was a silent sermon on resilience, on the power of unconventional bonds, and on the profound happiness found when one dares to forge their own unique path. Elias and Elara, once outcasts, were slowly weaving themselves into Deadwood's fabric, no longer gossip, but a quiet, enduring symbol. Their journey taught the town that true joy, immeasurable wealth, and lasting happiness often flourished most beautifully in the unwavering devotion of two intertwined hearts. The hushed whispers about Elias and Elara in Deadwood finally faded, replaced by something more meaningful. Their extraordinary story, initially steeped in local scandal and judgment, gracefully transcended mere rumor, blossoming into a cherished local legend. It became clear that their union was not about conforming. It was, at its core, about commitment and affection, a bond beyond fleeting labels. Their life together proved family was not solely defined by blood ties, but constructed upon a solid foundation of mutual support, acceptance, and an unbreakable bond forged through triumphs and hardships. They never sought societal validation, living their own truth, proving with every passing year that love, in its purest form, could blossom in unconventional soils. The wisdom gleaned from their quiet existence resonated throughout Deadwood. It became clear that true wealth wasn't measured in gold dust, but in the richness of human connection, quiet joy, and peace discovered in unexpected places. Elias, the stoic mountain man, and Elara, the once fragile orphan, together embodied an enduring lesson about companionship. Their legacy became a treasured tale, inspiring a deeper understanding of what truly mattered. They had, against all odds, proven that happiness was a conscious choice, a journey undertaken together, defying societal expectations. The terms that once defined them, Giant Mountain Man and his bride, evolved into symbols of love's boundless nature, a reminder that true family is defined by the heart, not by societal norms or appearances. Their remarkable story carried a universal message: strength, resolve, and contentment stem directly from acceptance. It demonstrated that the most resilient bonds are often forged against formidable odds, enduring and thriving, offering hope for generations.